こんにちは。今日は何かの人からのリクエストがあったので、どうやって私たちが知り合ったか、馴れ初めを話していきたいと思います。Okay, so today we're going to talk about how we met in this video.
So my wife was telling me that there's been a few people who really wanted to know how we met, and we wanted to share that with you guys. So within this specific live, we're going to revisit those moments that took place years ago. And this takes us back to 2010. It was my second semester at the college we both were attending, and this was my wife's last semester. So it was the first day of meeting the teacher and meeting fellow classmates, and we were outside of the building where we were going to meet. And this is where I first saw who I did not know then would eventually be my wife. And I know the feeling I had when I initially saw her, just taken back. And I knew then there was something about her, and it was from that feeling that I really wanted to get to know her better. And at first I really didn't know how I was going to do that, but I did know that we were going to be in the same class. This was a class that was an elective for her, but also was a class that was necessary for what I was pursuing at that time in school. So I knew we were both in this class, but I also was trying to figure out initially how was I going to approach her in an attempt to get to better know her. But being in the same class definitely did help. What I can honestly say was my pursuits then.
My first impression of him was unique and like in a good way, like different.
Now this was my second semester, as I've already stated, but there was a point in my first semester at this college where I was contemplating not going back for the second semester. But I eventually decided to. And it's very interesting when I look back on all of this, that if I did not go back that second semester, I would have never met who I didn't know then would later be my wife. So there's a lot of key moments just in reminiscing and looking back over the years and the inception of this relationship, of how that would not have taken place if I didn't go back to school for that second semester. So he's coming here wanting to know more about the culture here in studying abroad, which is always interesting to me now to know that she came from Japan to the city where she came to study abroad. Very small city, very, very small city. So it's still always very...
I always ask why here.
Yeah,
like,
why?
I get asked why in this city. I don't like cold weather. So the college we went was not expensive.
Yeah.
That's why.
But to get back to, or rather to share with you, when I first saw who I didn't know then would later be my wife. First day of class, meeting the teacher, meeting fellow classmates, but I was just really just minding my own business, standing in front of the building that we were going to be having class in, and then just seeing who I didn't know then would later be my wife. The feelings that I felt, the thoughts that I was thinking, but also in thinking back at it now, knowing that there was something very different about her. Couldn't put my finger on it, but knew that something was different, a uniqueness that was there, beyond just appearance, beyond just what she was looking at. That did factor in. She was just a beautiful woman to me. But it was something beyond just appearance, how she looked. I can recall in detail everything that she was wearing that day. And my wife really doesn't like me doing that now, but I can recall what she had on, what she was wearing, what I was feeling, what I was thinking, and that uniqueness more than anything that stuck out to me when I first saw her. So in my mind then I was just thinking, okay, how am I going to approach her because I've always somewhat been a shy individual. Always somewhat been a loner, not the most social individual. So I'm trying to figure out, knowing that something is sticking about this woman that I'm seeing, how do I approach her? Now, being in the same class really did aid in what I was seeking to do at that time, in wanting to get to better know her beyond just what I was seeing. Do you remember anything about what you were thinking the first time?
Just I thought he was unique and different. It's just probably like I'll say in Japanese. It's easy for me to say. 最初見た時はなんかちょっとユニークでなんか違った人って感じがして、なんか格好とかも全然違かったから、なんかいい意味でいい人だし、違う感じの人、ユニークな人だなと思って、まあ最初は別に、ね、初めての、クラスの時だから緊張してたので、特になんか一人一人にペイアテンションをしなかったんだけど、でも最初の彼の旦那のなんだろう、なんかビビビッときたのかわかんないけど、なんか違うなって感じがしました。何かが違うなって感じ。多分ビビビってきたのかなって思ってます。
That's pretty much everything.
Yes.
Okay. So after sharing some of our initial feelings and thoughts about each other that first day of class, I really want to proceed within this moment, or these moments that we're sharing with you. So the instructor of this class, we both equally knew, but due to the class and my wife, who I did not know would be my wife at that time, didn't really know much about the subject matter like I did. So the instructor did.
I didn't know, like I didn't know what was going on, like what the teacher was saying.
So the teacher, the instructor at that time thought it appropriate for me, due to what I did know about the subject matter, to, I guess, kind of tutor my wife, or really study with her when it came to the homework and it came to the assignments. So in a lot of ways, being in the same class aided that. Being in a position to help her as it relates to the work assignments, the homework, really aided in a lot of ways what I had really wanted, and that was to get to know her better. And over the months, through the course of the class, our communicating with one another, it really started to somewhat blossom. Beyond just what we were studying within this class. So can you recall some moments within the class that kind of stuck out to you, or while we were in this class? Is there anything that stuck out to you?
優しく教えてくれて、なんかいろいろ、なんだろうな、普通になんか友達として私を接していました。その時はなんかちょっと恋はあるかなっていうのはあったんだけど、彼からの。でもそんなのはっきりしてなかったから、普通に話してて、でいろいろなんか友達としてもう、で日本に帰るから別にそんな関係とか誰ともなりたくなかったからね。ですごくいい人だなっていう印象はありました。で CD 持ってたから CD ちょっと貸してとか、なんかちょっと興味があったからとか、あと何やったかな。I remember you asked me if you can take a walk with me to the ESL class. And I remember the day you asked me if you can give me a hug.
And this is something that she's told me before, that in this being her last semester, this wasn't a time where she was looking to find herself in a relationship beyond a friendship, because she was getting ready to go back to Japan. But it's so very interesting looking back at all of it. One thing that she's also informed me was just, I guess, the kindness, the patience, the willingness to communicate with her despite the language barrier. So where my wife's language is now as it relates to English is far more improved and better than it was when we first met. But as she was talking about that experience, that quick experience, walking with her to ESL class, I knew then I was really making efforts to get to better know her. Whether that was walking her to class, eating lunch with her, visiting her on her job, because she did work at the college while she was here. So there were little attempts, but this specific moment where we were walking to her ESL class, it was over the bridge. It was at this moment I did ask for her number. She gave me her number. I was very happy about that, excited about that, because it was just a step closer in getting to better know her, which was my initial intention when I first saw her. Beyond just how she looked, her appearance, there's something unique about her. There's something that's sticking out about her. I want to get to know her better. And her giving me her phone number was just a step in that direction. And I'm very grateful and appreciative for her doing that, because she was still kind. Like she still was open to converse. She was open to talk on the phone. She was open for me to walk her to class, sit with her at lunch, visit her on her job when it was appropriate. It was a lot of feelings, emotions on my end, and I can only really speak on how I was feeling and how I was thinking those earlier years. That we exchange and we communicate about where we were those first couple of years, and what would eventually turn into a marriage, which we're going to be sharing some more of those moments beyond these initial moments with you all in future videos. Is there anything that you want to share up to this point?
Yes. 何を決定的にこの人といたいかっていうのを決めたのかって言ったら、一番はすごいなんか誠実でオネストな人なので、何でもなんか真実を言ってくれる人、本当に言わなくていいことも言ってくれる人なので、それであとどんなにね私がプッシュアウェイしてもずっとなんか来てくれたらなんかまあ推しが強かったのかな。それが一番決定的なことだと思います。それでもどんなにひどいこと言っても、めちゃくちゃひどいこと言ったんだけど、それでもずっとなんか来てくれたことで、それでこの人しかいないのかなっていう、なんか最初に会った時もちょっとなんか違うビビビってきたのはあったので、それでもう付き合ってみようと思って一緒になりたいなって思いました。遠距離になるけど、とっても長いですね、遠い遠距離になるけど一緒になりたいなっていうのは、その彼の行動を見てすごく思いました。
But in upcoming videos, we're going to be sharing some more key moments in our relationship with you guys, for you to get a better idea of not only who my wife is, but who I am. And we're going to invite you all into our home, our family, and just share more with you what our family looks like, what our parenting dynamic looks like, what our relationship and marriage looks like. That's a part of this journey. That's a part of the intention for this channel, especially for those that my wife really intends to share that with. But so we'll definitely be sharing with you guys soon. So until next time, we'll be talking to you soon.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.